on Breakfast with Vossy and Brandy. The Back Page with Michael Caraynnis.
MC, good morning, mate.
Good morning, fellas. How are we?
We're good. Now, we've had a number of texts already. Me and Maddie were both busy last night. We didn't get to see 360.
Sure.
Yeah.
Hello. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what's coming, don't you? Western Sydney Eagle. I'll just right at the top, but there's been a number of them come through this morning. Not a bad stoush between MC and Biceps Hooper last night. What?
For those who didn't see 360, fill us in, MC. Give us your side of the argument.
James Hooper v. Michael Caraynnis.
It's just a usual 360 set two, I guess, between Hoops and I. It was both asked me a question around Adam O'Brien, and I was answering it, and Hoops didn't like my answer, and then started talking about Kalen Ponga, and I just fired back, well, that's not what we were talking about. So, yeah, it's all good. It's all good. There's a bit of fun on there.
Okay.
I'd say you put him in his place.
Not. It wasn't Brandy Brent Reed-esque. Let me tell you that one.
Right. Okay. Not quite.
Well, given we're talking about the Knights now, and you've had a night to think about it, just sum up your understanding of the Ponga, of the O'Brien situation after Peter Parr spoke yesterday. But first, we need to hear from Pete. Here's the incoming CEO speaking about the future of Adam O'Brien.
It seems that Adam's future. There's a lot of speculation about that. Let me say that nobody's ever discussed Adam's future with me. Nobody above me has, questioned Adam directly with me. So I was surprised that came to being in some ways. But I also know that in this game, if you're not playing as well as you like, and we've only won a third of our games this year, that there's often talk in and around clubs, third parties, and things like that. And people can put their own spin on it. They can add their own GST, and all of a sudden somebody gets hold of a conversation that might have been, not as accurate as the original conversation, and all of a sudden you've got a story. But nobody has spoken to me about Adam not being the coach here going forward.
There you go, MC. There's Peter Parr. What were you and Hoops arguing about last night? Sum up your argument.
All I was saying is that I don't think I was clear on this last night. I don't think it's clear cut that Adam O'Brien won't be the Knights coach next year. That's all I'm saying. I don't think it's a done deal that he won't be there. He may not be there, right? No doubt, and he's definitely under pressure, but I don't think it's as definitive as what some people have said. That's all. That's my stance on it. I'm not saying he's definitely going to be the coach next year, but I don't think he's got one foot out the door yet.
No. Okay. That's fair. That's fair call. It might happen, but there's been no.
It may happen.
Yeah,
right?
but there's been no decision on it yet. The Bears.
Yeah, I'm not guaranteeing it either way, Brandy. That's my thing. That's my point. I'm not guaranteeing that he will be there or he won't be there.
Yep.
I just don't think he's as far gone as what was alluded to over the last couple of weeks. That's all.
And do you think anyone out there knows anything differently to that, or are they just jumping to conclusions?
Potentially. They may know more than me, right? But from my conversations in and around the club and through not numerous people, he's under pressure, no doubt, right? But the playing group have responded, right, and shown that they're defending their backsides off, they're competing on every play, right? You compare that to what's happening at the Titans and the Cowboys, and for mine, it's not even close.
I think I know the answer to this one, MC, but Mindy's very keen to know who's in more trouble, O'Brien or Hasler. I bet you can't say one name quick enough.
Well, why don't we throw Todd Payton in the mix too?
Throw that in there. There you go. Rank the three there, MC.
You can't pay out on Des. The markets have closed on Des.
$1 market shut down.
Gone, right?
Yeah, okay.
I'm not a punter, but even I know what that means.
MC. So let's take it a little bit further because Matt and I were discussing it today. We both agree that Des for next year not a chance, but does Des get past this weekend?
I think they've just I haven't sat down and worked the numbers out, boys. The Gold Coast have to be very careful that they're going to make sure that it's a mathematical impossibility that they're going to make the top 8. When is that when does that actually occur, right? Because we know how litigious Des is, and he sued Canterbury, he sued Manly, right? So once it gets to that point where it's impossible, right, and even if that means they've got to win every game by 100 points or whatever the case may be, it's got to get to the point where
it's impossible.
They have no chance.
Yeah.
where it's impossible before they pull the trigger, because he'll have a case against them, right? So that's the only thing. He coaches his 500th game. Like the players aren't responding. We see that. I'm not too fussed on those post-game images that we saw generally, but it just shows the lack of care, detail, response from that playing group towards their coach.
They've checked out.
Des is not solid. Des is not solid to blame there. It's been a theme of that playing group for a long time now. They've got to man up and get some responsibility over their performance as well. But, I don't know, just changing the coach immediately change anything? Probably not. So it doesn't bother me either way, really.
Right. Well, it seemed like, in hindsight, the sacking of Justin Holbrook, and we've got a few texts here about what some of the things that Justin Holbrook did or allowed happen on his watch, and one of them was Jamal Fogarty out. It does seem ridiculous that, him playing finals, took them to the finals, 9th finals, running 10th when he got
punted,
showing the door. It seems outrageous in hindsight.
And I'm picturing Des, as I listen to Michael there, sitting up late at night, early hours of the morning, under a dim light, doing the ladder predictor, working it away. Hang on, we can still make the top 8.
Yeah,
hang on, don't you dare pull the trigger yet.
I think the fact that Rebecca Frizzell came out and backed him, I think he stays there for the season. So that's what the conclusion I've come to even this morning, just talking about it. Brayley at odds with Cronulla. That's Blake, who's been in great form. We'll get to him in a minute because the Bears' top 3 might have an influence on that. Who are the marquees? Who has Mal got his sights set on?
Yeah, interesting list from Fox League. I'd say the number one target for multiple reasons is Tino Faisula-Malawi because A, he's got the clauses to get out of the Titans deal. B, Mal signed him to the Gold Coast, coached him at Australia. And Ezra Howe, who's the recruitment manager now at Perth, also was the recruitment manager at the Titans. So he's got that established relationship there. They've got Cameron Munster on the list, who I find interesting because Cam Munster still has 2 years left on his Melbourne contract. So whether he'd need to be granted a release to leave the Storm early in order to go to Perth, and then you've got the man that you mentioned, Blake Brayley, mate. If they were your first 3 signings, happy days for the Bears, And but they'll all be, 2 of them definitely million plus players. And then to entice Brayley out of the Sharks, you're probably looking at potentially 7 figures as well. So it's a massive. They'd be massive investments, but as you alluded to there, Brandy, some talks have broken down at the moment, or put on hold, I guess, is probably the best way to put it, between the Sharks and the Brayley camp.
Has Blake Brayley been close to the best player in the comp over the last month? Outstanding form.
Yeah,
I believe
not
that
close to, Matty.
He's the best. So how close would the Sharks go to that 7-figure total? And just to sum it up, I believe that the Sharks have offered a 3-year deal. He wants a 5-year deal. I'm not much of a mediator, MC, but I reckon I could suggest a 4-year deal, and both parties might be pretty happy.
And that's on top of next year, Matty, as well, so don't forget. So he still has 12 months on his contract, so it's 3 years on top of and 5 years on top of were the respective offers from the Sharks and the Brayley camp. So, look, he's a shy boy, he's a junior, he wants to stay. I think they'll get the deal done, but they've just got to be careful that if it gets to November 1, a club will offer him $1 million, and the Sharks won't get to $1 million, but a club will offer him, like Perth, straight away, bang, here's $1 million, 4-year, 5-year deal, potential captain, an 80-minute hooker who's played 100 consecutive games plus in the peak of his career at the moment. And as you said, I think James Tedesco's been the best player this year. I think Blake Brayley is the most informed player of the competition.
Certainly is. Just some advice too from BMO. Next time you have a little run-in with hoops, to quote the Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky when he was speaking to that whack job J.D. Vance, you're raising the volume of your voice, but not the logic of your argument.
Ooh. There we go.
Repeat
the back end there.
You're raising the volume of your voice, but not the logic of your argument.
Tuck that away,
keep that in the back pocket for next time.
AMC, Josh Papali'i. Josh Papali'i. Will we get any news regarding Big Papa at the Green Machine before the end of the season?
I think so. It's an interesting one because, everyone just assumed and thought that he was off to the Super League, but, it's my understanding that Josh doesn't want to go to the Super League yet. He's enjoying what's happened in the NRL. Obviously, his form's been great. The Raiders have been flying. And obviously would love to stay at Canberra. The sticking point is that Canberra haven't budgeted for him next season, and in order to keep him, someone will have to move out of their salary cap for next year, and that will so someone will have to be sacrificed in order to keep Josh Papali'i there, and that has turned the attention to other clubs, at least asking the question around Josh, would he be prepared to play against Canberra, and the indications are that he may be. Look, I think he gets a 12-month deal done at Canberra, but don't discount the fact that Josh Papali'i might play for another NRL club next year.
Absolutely, MC. As we let you go, give us a tip. Sydney Roosters, Melbourne Storm to start round 21.
I think Melbourne in a close one, boys.
Melbourne tonight to beat the Roosters in a thriller. MC, great value
MC.
as always. Go and have a fantastic Thursday.
You too, boys. Thank you.
Coming up, Dean Cox later on in the show. Speaking of coaches, we're going to find out after this, Brandy, about some of your coaches. We'll talk club, we'll talk city country, we'll talk origin, we'll talk kangaroos, about some of the coaches to guide.
Do you want me to run through some of the coaches I've had?
Do it.
Or do you want me to leave it?
No, let's leave it until after the break, because there have been many of them at club, origin, kangaroos and city country. There's one there that jumps off the page as well. That's next. Questions without notice, sort of, for Brandy after this.